I still in the book of Samuel. So, like I told y'all before, the book of Samuel to me is just such an interesting book because not only does it tell the story of Saul and David and like some very powerful men um in biblical times, but it tells it in a way where it's a story, and every time I read these stories I pull out a lot of different little excerpts. So 2 Samuel 16, 11, and 13 says, Then David said to Abishai and to all his servants, My own son is trying to kill me. Doesn't this relative of Saul have even more reason to do so? Leave him alone and let him curse, for the Lord has told him to do it. And perhaps the Lord will see that I am being wronged and will bless me because of these curses today. So David and his men continued down the road, and Shimei kept pace with them on a nearby hillside, cursing and throwing stones and dirt at David. And today, I'm just I'm grateful for life, I'm grateful for health, I'm grateful for strength, and I'm even grateful for the people who throw stones at me in my life. And that's what my conversation is going to be about this morning because and it isn't nothing personal. I don't even know if people throw stones at me, to be honest. But I know that this is something that a lot of people battle with. And what David spoke about here is so important. This literally hit me like a ton of bricks, y'all, last night when I was reading it, because this guy, Shammai, right, he was loyal to Saul. And, when David became king, he was bitter about it. And when Absalom had basically tried to kill David, Absalom being David's son. So David went on the run rather than attack and war with his own son. He went on the run, and he was like, let God deal with it. And then this guy was just hanging outside the city, just cursing and talking bad. But David had an army of 600 men, you know, and David's men turned to him, and they said, "Hey, let's go cut his head off." And this was David's response to that. David said, you know if God told him to curse me, like, who am I to question? Basically, what David was saying was that negative people are actually a part of God's plan. Like they actually a part of this. They aren't something that you have to stop on your journey to pay any sort of attention to. What David did was David just kept going. He kept walking on his journey. He didn't stop. He was the only one that actually cared enough to say that, you know what? God still is in this person, even though that they throwing stones, even though that they cursing me. Remember, God created all of us, so this person still is a part of God's plan, and I'm not going to interrupt what God is doing in my life just because it seems that it don't align with what I'm currently doing. And you have to be reminded of how important that is, and like what the message is that I'm trying to portray this morning. Like all of us can face people in our lives who don't agree with the journey that we on. A lot of people won't agree with what you're doing. A lot of people can throw stones at you. They can throw dirt on your name. They can try to say and do the worst things to you. But you still have to remember that they were all a part of the plan and you use that for motivation. Remember in this, David did not stop on his journey. He could imagine the second he have a son who chasing him with an army of 22,000 and he's a man with 600. Every second count. If he had stopped for 1 second, to just argue with this man? Or what if he'd cut the man or head off and leave a trail where they would have been able to follow him? You just never know the kind of interruption by stopping and arguing with these people who mean nothing in the sight of your journey to God. How you could allow them to mean something to you. So, this morning, I just want whoever this is for, whoever needed to hear this morning, I just want you to know that, listen, those people who throwing stones, they part of God's plan. Those people who throwing dirt on your name, they part of God's plan too. Don't let their opinion slow you down and leave a trail for them to catch you up in your destiny. Just keep going forward. Just keep going on your journey. Just keep moving forward. and keep your eyes focused on the Lord in that. And just remember that at the end of the day, your blessing is for you. And whether it be between two mountains or two lips, it was yours before you was born. Thank you everyone for giving me the opportunity to speak this morning. I'm Kerry and I relinquish my mic.